Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via the Schrock Desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. Did you survive the blizzard of 2019? I mean, seriously, guys, this is, oh my gosh, the Weather Channel was reporting, and it was like, I don't know if you remember seeing this video, like, it was down when there was a hurricane down south, and some guy from the Weather Channel was like leaning into the wind, and he has hands up, and he's like, we're reporting live from the eye of the hurricane or something. And then behind him, like very casually, just nonchalant, like they're just walking down the street, two guys just walk by in the background. So he was completely faking like being in a hurricane. It was the stupidest thing. And literally the Weather Channel was reporting that Omaha was experiencing blizzard conditions. And like, I see this go by on Facebook and I look out the window and I'm like, I don't really see a blizzard. I mean, it's a little windy, but I mean, there's no snow. Wow. So yeah, you can't even trust the weather reports anymore, guys. It's ridiculous. But nevertheless, one thing you can trust is it's Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and you're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We've got 3 locations in Nebraska to help you out with your computer problems. First one, the original 27th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln. Second one was in Omaha, 168th and Burke Street. And the third one is in Papillion on the corner of 84th and Highway 370. Of course, for those of you outside the Nebraska listening area, if you're listening online on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, welcome. Also, if you are listening on WHO in Des Moines, we also have the Schrock Desk available to help you out with your day-to-day computer problems and issues that you might have. You can basically give us a call in any of our service centers and we can get you helped out over the Schrock Desk as well. The number to get help today, though, is 866-496-8772. That's 866-496-8772. Today on the program, if you get a lot of robocalls, there's a new service that Verizon is going to be pushing out to their customers. If you have a Verizon phone, this could be of interest to you. Also, there was a huge, epic data breach discovered online. And the reporter that actually just disclosed it, of course, searched for his own stuff, and he actually found his email address in this data password breach and an old password he used to use. So we're going to talk about what you need to do to keep your accounts safe from that. Twitter was actually sharing your personal tweets if you used Android for years and no one noticed. So I don't know what that says about Twitter, but apparently people didn't get in trouble and report it, so now they just found out about it. Huawei and ZTE, these are the Chinese cell phone companies that are taking the 5G world by storm by basically selling their equipment at way below cost and pricing out other competitors out of the market so they can get all the market share for themselves, and of course give the communist Chinese government access to the data if ever requested, because like they're going to have a choice, right? ZTE made its first 5G call, and they have an interesting spokesperson that they're bringing forward. You know, if you're having trouble with reputation and you need to have somebody who is known to speak truth, who is the arbiter of all things truthful. I mean, we're talking, this guy is the George Washington of truth. Their new company spokesperson will blow your mind, because he's been around the block, guys, and he knows his internet stuff. Let's just say that. So we'll tell you about that on the program also today. And of course, this is the final week. Technically, I mean, the show airs on the 20th, but some people aren't going to hear this show until next Sunday, the 27th. So this is the final week, one way or the other, for the solid state upgrade sale at Schrock Innovations. So what is this? What's going on? If you just heard about it, today we have to stage our marketing, guys. Like we used to, back in the day when we had one shop and we had one, local radio station in Lincoln, Nebraska, and that was all we were doing. We dropped all the marketing bombs at one time. So we would go on any social media. Before social media, we sent emails. So we'd send an email out to everybody. We'd go on the radio and do the whole thing there, and we'd just drop it all at once, and then we would get completely overwhelmed with response. And then it was just like, well, we'll get through it somehow, but you can't deliver good service when you're completely overwhelmed. When you have so many customers coming to your door that you literally cannot serve them all, it doesn't do you any good. Anybody who has been to a restaurant on a football game day has had that experience where, you're just lucky if you get your food in a reasonable amount of time, whether it's right or not. You don't want to send it back because you're not going to get fed again before the game. Okay. So we don't want to deliver that kind of service. We want to deliver great service. So we started staging the marketing. So we'd still get the customer response we were looking for, but we just would slow it down a little bit. We would slow walk it. So initially, when we first launched this, we put it up on Facebook, and then we waited a few days. Then we put it on the radio show, and then we waited a week. And then we sent an email last week. And so if you received the email, great. If not, it probably went to spam or something. But basically, we sent out an email to all of our previous Schrock customers telling them about this special, just in case, especially those who had modular computers. Guys, if you have a modular computer and you're not doing the solid state upgrade, I can't make life any easier for you. I mean, seriously, we put a meme up on our Facebook page yesterday, and it was a lady with her head in her hands and just looking off, the look of despair upon her face. And she says, I was going to refill my drink while my computer rebooted, but I didn't even get out of my chair. Because that's how fast they reboot when you have a solid state hard drive. So it's that big of a deal, guys. You can literally breathe new life into an old, worn-out computer, or a computer that has been slowed down, more importantly, by all these the protection, the patches that have come out for the Spectre and Meltdown vulnerabilities. In fact, on Tuesday, we'll have our first ever Tech Tuesday episode on Channel 8 in Lincoln, and we'll also put that up on Facebook for you to watch as well. But we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the patches that came out that slowed some of your computers down by as much as 40%. I'm sorry, but you took a hit of 40% over the course of a year. If you think your computer is slower than it used to be, it's a lot slower than it used to be. We put some hard drives, some solid state hard drives in a couple Mac Minis for customers. And these Mac Minis, before the solid state hard drive, and the Mac Mini is an old Mac, okay? They just reintroduced it. There's a new Mac Mini out now because it was so popular, everybody wanted one again. But the Mac Mini, this is from maybe 2012, 2013, 2014. I mean, they're old computers. Think if in PC terms, this is like a Windows Vista computer, guys. And we upgraded them to a solid state hard drive for these customers, and it took the boot times from a minute plus down to like 8 seconds. So you can literally take an old computer, and granted, now for those of you running Vista on your computers, you don't want to do this on your computers because your Vista operating system is obsolete. In fact, your Windows 7 operating system will be obsolete here at the end of the year, something to keep in mind. So this is really for people who are running Windows 10 or maybe Windows 7 if they're going to upgrade later. But basically, if you put this hard drive in your computer, you can get a couple more years out of an old computer instead of replacing it. Which might seem like a weird thing for a computer company to tell you to do, right? We can give you more life in your computer. That's like Apple saying, hey, don't buy the new iPhone. We can upgrade your old iPhone, put a new battery in it, and it'll be faster than ever. Why would they do that, right? Well, our job is to give you options. And so we wanted to do something with our 20th anniversary where we had 12 incredible sales all the year long, just stupid sales that things are so incredibly cheap it blows your mind. So this month it was solid state upgrades. We have a whole different special plan for February, okay? So the cool thing is here, in fact, listen to the show here next week, the After Schrock that we do on Facebook after the show. I might actually leak what that special is going to be. We'll see. But the bottom line here is if you have a computer that does not have a solid state hard drive, which odds are if you have a computer you haven't bought in the last 12 months, you do not have a solid state hard drive. You should get this special at Schrock where we're installing the solid state hard drives for free. So that means here's the list of what we do for free when you buy the solid state hard drive from Schrock. So you buy the hard drive. Now a solid state hard drive, it's a box with a bunch of microchips in it. Okay, as opposed to your regular hard drive, which is a box with some spinny disks and some moving arms, look kind of like a little a super 21st century, Space Odyssey 2001 record player in there. So instead of the record player, you're getting microchips. Okay, that's why it's faster. So we take out the box of record player and we put in the box of microchips. Now the information, the songs on your record, we can copy those, right? So we take all the songs on all the records inside the regular hard drive and we make a carbon copy of that on the microchips so that when you get your computer back, it turns on, it boots up, it works just like it did before, except way faster. all of your files are there. All of your information is there. All of your programs are there. It's very rare that we can't do a perfect clone. There are a few situations where we cannot perfectly clone it for people who have very, very, very old computers, circa 2012 stuff. There's a few times when that happens, when we have to do a backup and install instead, where we install a clean copy of Windows. But again, we don't charge for that. So the installation is free. It's saving you about $200 off the cost of this upgrade. So this is an upgrade that if you look at a hard drives, the drives start at about $150. And then you're going to say, okay, $200 in labor. So now you're at what, $350? You might say $350 is too much to put into this old computer. I think I'm just going to buy a new one. But during this sale, $150 to put off a $700 purchase for another couple years is definitely worth it, especially when your computer will be restored to a speed where it is faster than it was the day you bought it. I mean, it's a better computer than when you bought. You can't even get that with a car. Like, okay, so here's the deal. I know you have an 8-year-old car right now, and it's all paid off, and that's cool, because you don't got no payments. That's amazing. What we're going to do for you is we're going to put a brand new engine in that car that's going to make it faster, better, and smarter, and give you all the new technology stuff and that cool stereo, instead of you having to buy a new vehicle. Isn't that amazing? That's what this is. I mean, you can't even get this in other stuff. I mean, it's that different. So that's why we're going to go on TV. We're going to talk about it a little bit in Lincoln. I'm going to hold up the record player hard drive, and I'm going to hold up the solid state hard drive and say, this is replacing this. And all the stuff here can be put in here, and they work the same, except this one is a lot faster. Any modern computer that you buy, any new computer that you're considering purchasing right now, the very first question, and this has been a while, we've done the segments many times about what should you look for in a new computer. The number one thing you need to look for in a new computer right now, above anything else, is ask, does it have a solid state hard drive? Because if the answer is no, you should not buy that computer. We heard it from Thor Stradamus, right? His predictions at the start of the year, one of his predictions was even regular hard drives regular computers are going to start coming with solid state hard drives now. Lo and behold, here I am, 20 days later, telling you if it doesn't have a solid state hard drive, don't buy it, because the prices have come down so much. There's no excuse for a new computer not to have a solid state. Now, it might be a small solid state. You might have to pay more if you want the bigger ones, but it should at least have a solid state in it. 866-496-8772. Let's jump into those phones here real quick. All right. First question today is Winston. Winston, how can I help you on Compute This? Winston, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
All right. Welcome to the program. How can I help you today?
Well, hi, Thor. Hey, I wanted to tell you that I've got a solid-state hard drive, and my fiance has a solid-state hard drive that you guys put in, and we love them. They're so fast. It's like we're never going to get a computer without a solid-state.
What did you get the upgrade, or did yours come with them, Winston?
Well, I think my desktop was the ultimate upgrade,
mm-hmm.
And then Maggie bought a laptop that you built and then you put a solid state in for her.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, describe the difference between your experience with a computer with a rotating disk drive and your experience with a solid state drive. Because it's one thing to hear me say it; it's another thing to hear a regular person say it.
I mean, it's wild. You turn the computer on and it boots within like 5 seconds or more. It's like nothing. Where in the old days, you could go and reheat your coffee and then come back and be going, all right, it's gonna load one of these days. And yeah, it's just so fast, it's ridiculous.
Well, that's awesome. I'm sorry, Winston. For those of you watching on Facebook right now, I just took a swig of coffee. I talk a lot while I'm on the radio, so I took a drink while you were talking there, Winston, and I just realized.
I see it on Facebook.
Oh my gosh! I just realized they switched the creamer at the gas station, and I got French vanilla. French vanilla in coffee is not good. I'm sorry, it's bad. All right. So anyway, back to computer stuff. Oh man, that's rough. That's my drink for the show here. I mean, somebody else's leftover water bottle is here. Maybe I'd rather drink that. Oh golly. All right. No, I mean, you're absolutely right, Winston. The solid state drives, before solid state drives, waiting a minute, 2 minutes for your computer to boot. Literally, we would joke, and we've done it on the radio where we say, you turn your computer on, you get up, you go make a sandwich, you come back, you eat the sandwich, and then you can get on the computer. But with the solid state hard drive, you don't even have time to get the bread out. I mean, it's that much faster comparatively. So, well, thank you very much for the call, Winston. I appreciate you calling and letting us know about the speed difference.
Hey, Thord, I also wanted to just mention that I called Kyle the other day because I needed him to fix something on my backup internal drive you put in.
Okay.
And your guys are so great. Kyle is fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, Kyle's a good egg over there. We like Kyle. He's one of our most senior technicians in the company. Actually, he's really good at what he does, and he's really good at helping people. And part of that is because he just cares. And that's, like I said, the hardest thing. You know, we just hired 2 new employees, 2 new technicians, one for Omaha, one for Papillion. They're going to be training up in the service center, and you know, in the training period, we put them through an audio training package. It might be called an indoctrination package. I don't know, but basically, it lays the groundwork. It says this is what you're here to do, and this is what we expect from you. And because I believe in telling people what you expect from them when they're coming to work for you, and I expect you to deliver great service. I expect you to care about people. If you're not somebody who can care about other people, if you don't have the ability to have empathy for other people's situations, you can fake that for a little while, but eventually it'll always come out. And if you don't have that, you're not going to make it beyond 30 days. You're just not. We're going to be able to tell, because after you're done with customers, you can see the people who do this. They're helping the customer. They're like, yeah, that's awesome. I'd love that. Thank you so much. I'm glad we were able to fix that today. Is there anything else I can do for you? Well, I've got you on the line today. No? Well, all right. You have a fantastic day. And then they hang up the phone and they're like, oh, what a moron. And we get people like that, and we're like, what are you talking about? Because that negativity spreads, and we're just like, no. That nip that in the bud right there. And then they're like, oh no, they were serious in the indoctrination thing. Like, they don't want that here. Like, no. Yeah, because first of all, you'll do that to your coworkers, you'll do that to other customers, and our customers are not morons. That's the thing. That's the thing that nobody understands. I was talking with Drake in our Lincoln Service Center the other day, and I was like, 90% of what we do is not computer repair; it's translation.
Yep.
And he's like, you're right, because he was like, he said, that blows, but you're right, because explaining, if people knew what the problem was with the computer, if they knew what was wrong, people could fix it themselves. We had a guy came in the other day, one of the guys with the Mac Mini, and he brought it in, and he's like, well, I could totally do the solid state upgrade on my own. And then this thing was a nightmare. I'm telling you, if anyone listening out there has a Mac, if you want the solid state upgrade, you darn well better get it during the sale, because we charge sometimes extra labor to work on Macs, just depending on how hard it is. This particular model of Mac Mini, you had to take it down to the aluminum chassis to put the hard drive was the last piece that came out. You had to take out, you have to take off the top. You have to take off the Wi-Fi antenna. You have to take off the, let me get this right now. Next, you take out all the 16 different screws, requiring 4 different Torx bits, because Apple's just Apple. And then you have to turn the power supply, you have to twist the power supply in a completely illogical way and slide the power supply out. And then you have to carefully disconnect a bunch of wires, and then you have to pull the motherboard out. But the motherboard requires a special tool to remove it. And there's this really cool guy on YouTube that says you can fashion this tool out of a coat hanger, but we're not going to do that. So you get the special tool and you pull the motherboard out, and then finally you can pull out the hard drive. Oh, okay. Then you have to switch the hard drive, then you put it all back together again. And of course, you have to put it all back together before you can test it. And of course, the first time it doesn't boot, because somewhere tiny little connector in there popped off, and you're like, gosh darn it. And you got to take the whole thing apart again to find that connector, and then you put it all back together. I spent like 3 hours on a Mac Mini, and we're doing the install for free. And I called the guy back, and I'm feeling pretty proud, because this thing is performing like the wind now. And I'm like, all right, so hey, your Mac Mini was a joy to take apart. He goes, yeah, I know. I went online and watched the iFixit video on how to take it apart, because I was going to do it myself. Then I thought, well, heck, if Schrock's going to do it for free, I may as well take it into him, because this does not look fun. I'm like, it was not fun. All right. Thanks for the call, Winston. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Thor.
All right. 866-496-8772. Let's take our first break of the program. When we come back, Mike, your call is coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let Schrock get your data back. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them, or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another.
Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs. And all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. This week, 87 gigabytes. 87 gigabytes. If you have a solid state, don't download this file. 87 gigabytes of email addresses. You know how many email addresses that has to be? Now, imagine it if you've ever written a novel, which, okay, I just narrowed it down pretty. I haven't written a novel, but if you've ever written a novel, that would not be an 87 gigabyte file. So this is like War and Peace of username and passwords plus like 3 volumes were all found online exposed in a dump called Collection 1, which lends me to usually you only number things when there's a sequence, and if that's Collection 1, Collection 2 has got to be a doozy. A 87 gigabyte dump of email addresses and passwords containing almost 773 million unique email addresses and just under 22 million unique passwords has been found. So you guys, if the information in this dump is old, okay, it's not current, because if obviously a hacker had a current dump of this many usernames and passwords, the hacker would use them for his own purposes, right? So just as a precaution, if you haven't changed your password in years, if you're using the same password you've been using for forever and ever and ever, please change your password. It's time to do it. You need to do it. Just make an effort every time you log into something. Just change the password. You can use the same password if you want. Not recommended, but if you wanted to, you can. You can use a password manager. You know what I do for my passwords? That's kind of neat. Is on my cell phone I have Firefox installed, and I signed into my Firefox account. And on my computer I use Firefox, and I'm signed into my Firefox account. And you can go to a website. You can just Google generate random password, and it'll generate like one of those stupid long passwords that has like all kinds of capitals and lower cases and numbers and symbols and all. Just you would never remember it. And then you can set that as a password for something. But Firefox will save that password for you. So that way, if you're on your phone or on your computer, the password is just saved, and you can go through and use it that way. Next time you want to update it, worst case, you have to do a password reset. It's not a big deal. Change your passwords, guys. 866-496-8772. Mike, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Good morning, Thor.
Morning, Mike. How are you doing?
Hey, pretty good. I don't mean to tell you this, but, well.
But you're good at it anyway?
Anyway, the day you were out here, and it took so long to start up, and you said this ridiculous,
Yeah, I remember that.
With a solid state, you said, boy, it'd just be seconds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the day that Elijah was out here, even now, it doesn't. It's not faster. It takes, like forever to start up again.
So I know Elijah was out there and he cloned your hard drive over to a solid state. Did he, depending, one question I have for you, because I wasn't there for this part, Mike. Did he leave your hard drive, your old hard drive in the computer, or did he take it out?
No, he took the old one out, and
Okay.
I've got it in the baggie in my drawer. And that's
Okay.
another thing. You remember when I had problems with my medical sheet,
Yes.
and you straightened it out?
Yep.
Well, now I've got the same problem, only it's worse because it doesn't have the information I just recently put on it.
Okay. So basically the problem last time with the medical sheet, Mike, was that the formatting was adjusted and it pushed everything down to a second page. So what I did for you before was I just basically adjusted the formatting to make sure everything fit back onto one page again. So we can, you're a Schrock Desk subscriber, Mike, so we can go ahead and take a look at this over the Schrock Desk. So I'll tell you what, today we open, Sunday today, so we open at noon. So don't call right at noon. Give us till like 12:30 to get through the rush, because everybody thought that it was going to snow on Friday. So everybody front loaded on Thursday, and I was actually in the Lincoln Service Center till like 10 o'clock at night on Thursday night, trying to get people's stuff done so they could come early Friday morning and pick it up before the snow hit. And then Friday was kind of a nothing burger, and so then Saturday everybody was kind of like, well, what do we do now? So we expect today, Sunday, for things to start picking up again. The shops are all caught up, so I expect things to start picking up again at this point. So give us till about 12:30. Give us a call. We can do a Schrock Desk with you, Mike, to remote in, see if we can't fix that medical sheet for you again and get that taken care of. But when we do a solid state copy, it is literally a carbon copy. So there's no chance for a file to be missing. There's no chance for a file to be edited so that information that was there before was not there before. So there's got to be something where it was either saved in a different location, it was either saved as or not saved. There's some reason that information is not there. So let us take a look over the Schrock Desk. That's what the subscription is for. Let's take a look and see if we can't get that figured out for you. But thank you very much for the call, Mike. Got to take a break here. We're at the bottom of the hour. I appreciate it. 866-496-8772. As far as it not being faster, though, that's kind of a head scratcher for me. So I'll have the guys check that out too while they're looking at it. All right. So Verizon is going to roll out some free robocall spam protection. We're going to talk about that coming up on the program. Also, the Microsoft CEO makes it official. Cortana is an app, not a standalone assistant. A standalone assistant can't be replaced, but an app can be. What was it Thorstradamus said about the daughter of Amazon? Oh, I don't know. Something looks very, 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 oh, wow, this is crazy. Already coming true in January. We're going to tell you all about it coming up next in Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed Symantec endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Get this pro tip, 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are 2 products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. President Trump proposing to end the partial government shutdown, including a plan to protect the Dreamers in exchange for a border wall. In a Saturday afternoon address from the White House, the president said,
"The good news is these problems can all be solved. Both sides in Washington must simply come together, listen to each other, put down their armor, build trust, reach across the aisle, and find solutions."
Democrats, though, labeling the president's plan a non-starter. Rain today across much of the Northeast, but beware of the bitter cold that's soon to follow.
It falls as rain. Temps are really warm up above, but much colder at the surface. So when it lands, it freezes on contact, and that's going to cause major problems for power lines, for trees all across that area. Far to the north of that, it's all snow.
Fox meteorologist Rick Reichmuth. This is Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
A cold and cloudy start across the area. Temperatures around 10 degrees. We may see some light snow flurries this morning, but those will move out by the lunch hour. Temperatures this afternoon climbing to around 17. Overnight, expect cloudy skies and a low around 10. On Monday, slightly warmer up to 29, but watch out for some freezing drizzle developing in the evening. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist David Keller on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the second half of Compute This. My name's still Thor Schrock, and I'm still the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We still have solid-state hard drives on special. And over the break here, when we're on commercial breaks, I try to jump on Facebook and answer any questions that are posted at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations in our live stream of the show. And Don, or no, it wasn't Don. Who was it? Let me get this right. Don gave Gabriel some nice compliments, but that wasn't what I was going to talk about. I was going to try to attribute this to the right person here. Robert, there we go. Robert mentioned on here, he said boot time, even if it's 2 minutes plus, is such a small part of the computing time, so why worry about the upgrade? And you know, this is a great question, because when I'm talking about solid states, I inevitably always talk about your boot time. And it's because the boot time of the hard drive is the easiest thing to measure. How long it takes from when you press the power button to when the computer is ready to rock and roll is a measurable experience that is almost identical every time the computer starts. So when you upgrade to a solid state, the increase in the speed, basically. Now, like when Mike called, if Mike was talking about it, it's not any faster. If he's talking about the internet, this doesn't make your internet connection any faster. If you want a faster internet connection, you have to pay your internet provider more money. But it makes the computer's ability to process the information coming from the internet faster. So your boot time will be shorter because it gives much, much faster interaction with the hard drive. But also, this is going to help a host of other problems where when you click on something on the computer, you have to wait 3, 5, 10 seconds for it to respond. That doesn't happen when you have a solid state hard drive. If you're typing and you're typing away on the keyboard and you look at the screen and you stop typing and all of a sudden the screen just keeps going for a few sentences because it's catching up with you, that won't happen if you have a solid state hard drive. The solid state hard drive will give you back all the lost speed that the Spectre and Meltdown patches have taken from your computer that impact your everyday computing things. So, for example, now how long does it take your browser to open when you click on your Firefox icon? With a solid state hard drive, it's 1/6 the amount of time it would take without the solid state hard drive, which means that it's going to process everything else quick. Right now, the hard drive is the weak link in your computer. And we're talking about with this solid state upgrade special, replacing that weak link with free installation. So we're going to put the hardware, you buy the hardware from us, we put it in for free, and we clone all of your stuff over for free. So basically, everything can be done, and you get the new faster drive in there, and you're going to see an overall improvement in your overall computing experience. But for me, the easiest thing to tell you is, it's going to boot faster, it's going to shut down quicker, it's going to be snappier is what is probably the best way. When you click on something, it's going to just happen. So there's about a week of this left going on at Schrock. We have sold this has been way more popular than we anticipated. Like I said, I ordered like 20 hard drives to each service center, and we blew through those in the first few days. And I saw them selling quick, so I ordered another 20 for everybody. And then I kind of sat back for a week. Surely that'll be enough, right? And then yesterday, or was it Thursday, I get calls from, no joke, all 3 service centers on the same day. Hey, Thor, we're running like critically low. Like I'm about to take our last ones. And I'm like, guys, you can't tell me this the day you're taking them. I have to order them. It takes like 3 days to get here. Come on. So we got more solid states coming. But this will be the final week where we're going to do that special. Then basically the labor charges go back on the top again after that. 866-496-8772. Let's take Dale's call. Welcome to the show, Dale. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I got a Verizon prepaid jetpack that I bought, I don't know, about 3 years ago. Operates on their 4G LTE system.
Yep.
And I'm open to suggestions on a different company and a different brand, because this thing's been a pain in the keister every time I wanted to use it, both Verizon and the jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I activated it and had to kind of spend several hours on the phone with wonderful prepaid customer service in Verizon overseas. Anyway, something kind of bugs me about it. I have a Hewlett-Packard notebook that I just recently got that's running Windows 10 and whatever the new Internet Explorer is.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're connected with the jetpack, you can go to the administrator page of the jetpack by entering in, my.jetpack or 192 some number.
Yep.
And I cannot connect to it with this Hewlett-Packard on the Windows 10 with the new Internet Explorer. I got an old Toshiba running XP with the old Internet Explorer that I can connect to the administrative page fine, and I can connect to it with a Android smartphone and Google Chrome.
Yep.
But
that's about what I was going to suggest. I'm like, you need to try with Chrome instead. The reason for that is the new browser in the computer is called Edge, and the Edge browser is its own unique engine. Firefox has its own unique browsing engine. Chrome has its own unique engine, and Edge has its own. The problem is, though, there's a lot of reasons why this has been a problem for Edge, but you can only get Edge if you have Windows 10. So you can't put Edge on a Chromebook. You can't put Edge on a Mac. Lots of people who build websites build them on Macs. So if you're building a website and you're building it on a Mac and you can't cross-browser test to Edge because you can't run Edge on your Mac, you're just not going to cross-browser test it. And as a result, there are tons of websites on the internet that just don't work well with Edge. And it's just so bad now, as we covered a couple shows ago, Microsoft is actually ditching the Edge engine, and they're going to take the Chromium engine and put that inside of the Edge browser. The Chromium engine is the same browsing engine that Google Chrome uses. If your Android phone is working, that's using a Chrome variant browser, a Chromium browser. So you're going to want to go ahead and get Chrome, and you should be able to hit that admin page perfectly then.
Okay, and I might add one more side note in here, since I had so much quality time with Verizon. And I know I've heard you talk about the 5G network.
Yes.
They tried to tell me, I don't know if this is true, but 2 different customer service techs told me this, that on the prepaid side anyway, they are no longer having any luck activating any 3G devices, new devices. So like because they claim that 5G is going to be here in Nebraska. And I said, really? I kind of find that kind of hard to believe that we're going to get it very fast here in Nebraska, but that's kind of an excuse that they're having.
Well,
with some of their devices.
We thank you very much for the call, Dale. We have some interesting developments in that regard. So basically, there are companies that want to bring 5G to Nebraska. There are companies that want to bring it to the rural areas of Nebraska as well. Part of the problem is the Nebraska state legislature is just completely hamstrung on bills regarding 5G technology. This is an article from April of last year, if that tells you anything. This is the last session. A bill the wireless industry says would help Nebraska ramp up for the next generation of high-speed communications hits a roadblock and now appears stalled for the year, which it was. Senators who opposed the bill said it would have allowed wireless companies to reap profits from the public property while hamstringing the ability of local governments to control the right-of-way. Legislators who backed the proposal expressed disbelief their colleagues would pass up hundreds of millions of dollars in private investments to build improved wireless infrastructure in Nebraska that Nebraskans clearly want. So basically, the bill would have set statewide regulations and fees for companies to install what are called small cell wireless antennas. This is why this is important. Cities right now, municipalities have the ability to set what fee they're going to charge for the small cell technology. If you want to put up a cell phone tower, the fees in Kansas City, and we covered this last week, the fees in Des Moines, the fees in St. Louis, they are all reasonable, $25, $50, $100, $150, right? The fee in Nebraska for the city of Lincoln is $1,900 for a small cell. 5G requires like 4 times the number of towers or 5G requires 4 times the number of towers than 4G does. So if you're a cell phone company at $2,000 a tower, Lincoln is going to be the last city in the United States of America that gets 5G. That's just how it's going to be. And so this bill would have gone on the state legislature and it would have said, this is the maximum that a municipality can charge for this. And it was an ability, or it was basically an attempt to set this rate at a normal rate. So you didn't have little fiefdoms like the city of Lincoln saying, hey, you're going to pay us, if we want 5G in our city, you're going to pay the city this exorbitant fee. And because, the public right of way demands it, where they're the only city that I know of in the country that charges a fee like that. It's ridiculous, and it's stifling innovation dramatically. So, city of Omaha will get 5G, city of Norfolk will get 5G, Fremont will get 5G, but then you're going to have this 4G island in Lincoln that's going to prevent that from happening because of the city of Lincoln. And so they tried to pass a bill in the legislature. The problem is I had the opportunity to listen to the Speaker of the legislature give us kind of a talk about some of the challenges the legislature faces this year. There's going to be some budgetary challenges this year that are going to take up a lot of the time. And then he broke down how much time each bill takes and how many bills are being introduced. And it doesn't look good, guys. I mean, there's way more bills than they have time to legislate. There are bills that didn't get even touched last year that are going to get first bite at the apple this year. Something like this is definitely on an action item that should be addressed, that is stifling Nebraska's ability to compete with our neighboring states from a technological perspective. But, I guess what I don't understand is why can't the cities just lower the fee? Why wouldn't the city want the growth? All the additional revenue that a 5G economy would bring. It seems stupid to tax the development of the infrastructure that will generate additional sales taxes, especially now that you pay sales taxes online for just about everything. So the cities should be reaping huge windfalls in sales taxes, but instead they're trying to tax the infrastructure that will bring them more tax revenue. And it's a disincentive. So I'm sorry, I'm off my soapbox now. But that's what's going on there, Dale. With your device, use Chrome. You should be able to get to it just fine. And as long as you're not in Lincoln, you probably could get a 5G wireless device at some point in some cities in 2019. They're making successful calls. ZTE did it at CES, as well as a couple other American companies as well. So the technology is there. It just needs to be deployed. And the deployment cost is prohibitive in some places in Nebraska right now. So they're obviously going to deploy it where it's cheapest first. 866-496-8772. Keith, you're next up on the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And
morning.
I agree with you. The French vanilla infused coffee is not drinkable. So
it's terrible.
That's awful. Anyway, here's my question. I took your advice a couple of months ago and installed Drive Advisor, and as you say, Advisor ER.
Yeah.
From time to time, I check it. C drive 100%, all good, 21 degrees Celsius or something like that. Now, the way I use my computer is I use OneDrive almost exclusively for building folders and files. I use my C drive when I'm not on Wi-Fi, and when I want to move some older files from OneDrive to C drive, I use my E drive using flash drives to back up certain files and folders.
Mm-hmm.
And once a week, I plug in this Seagate Plus backup external drive, which I did last night. Now, I get an email this morning from Drive Advisor saying that, hey, your E drive is unhealthy.
Correct.
So I check the email out, and I get interesting information saying, hey, your C drive healthy, 100%, all good. Your E drive is health is 30%, and you better call SOAR to figure that out.
Okay.
And so, what do I do? What can I do? What is this telling me?
Okay, it's what it's telling you is every hard drive has an internal record of things that haven't gone well, and lots of people rely on external hard drives. You're doing it for backups, and that's perfect. That's what external hard drives should be used for. But a lot of people use external hard drives to expand their storage on their computer, to have extra space, and they rely on them as primary storage. External hard drives are the most fragile hard drive you can possibly have. So we recover more external hard drives than anything else in the data recovery lab. So basically, what Drive Advisor is telling you is it's assigning a numerical percentage to the health of the hard drive based on the events of the past: failure to power up, inability to read sectors on the drive, magnetic surface area failing, heads not working right. When you're down to 30%, at that point you should be seeing symptoms. Usually below 50%, you start to see symptoms where you save files and they disappear, or you get errors saving files. The drive can't be accessed. Sometimes you plug the drive in and it doesn't even show up, so you have to unplug it and plug it back in. So you should be seeing these kind of failures. But this is stuff that if we took the hard drive out of its enclosure and hooked it up to another computer and tested it with a hard drive testing utility, it would tell us that there is something not healthy with the drive right now. And you're not alone this morning. David this morning got an email that his C drive is at 83%, and that's his C drive. So basically, the long and the short of it is you need to replace that hard drive.
Yeah, the external one.
The external, correct. The E drive.
Yes, my Seagate. What I think is I plugged in the Seagate external, Seagate Plus backup last night, and then I get the email this morning, so I can kind of think that it's the Seagate external that's giving me this error or this unhealthy E drive message.
Yep, that's correct. That's as long if the email will tell you what drive it is. So I'm looking to. I don't see an alert from you this morning, because I usually get copied in on the alerts if one goes out. It was something that we did during testing and they never turned off, and I've asked them to turn it off like 3 times because I get all these emails every day about people's hard drives failing, and it makes you want to back up your computer just a little bit more. So like David, I see an email for David here that says he has a C drive at 83% on his computer. His PC, David, and his last name. Click, and then this is an email to my staff that we actually place phone calls to customers when their drives fail. To let them know, because sometimes you don't get the email, right? Because if it gets scraped up to spam or something, you may not even see the email. So if you're a customer who's been in the service center before and we've installed your Drive Advisor, we'll actually call you and tell you, hey, and we only call for C drives because the other drives are supposed to just be backup, right? So if they fail, it should just be a backup, right? It shouldn't be a big deal. So we don't want to bother people for stuff that's not a big deal, but we will call you if your C drive is failing because that's a big deal. So yeah, at this point, you need to replace the external hard drive. However, a little birdie is telling me you should probably wait till February 1st to do that if you're going to get one from Schrock.
Okay, got it.
But that's all I can say about that.
I understand.
All right, thank you for the call, Dave. I appreciate it. All right, 866-496-8772. Next up on the program here, let's see. Here we go. ZTE, we covered that's making calls with their stuff there. We covered the password stuff. Verizon to roll out free robocall spam protection. So this is one of the things, our new system that we're going to create is going to actually automate the phone calls to you when your Drive Advisor status drops on a drive, right? Well, now companies are coming out. So that would be a good use for a robocall. We're not trying to sell you anything. There's no press 1 to call us back. It's just, hey, this is Thor from Schrock Innovations. I'm calling to let you know the C drive on your computer is in a failure state, and you need to take a look at that with Drive Advisor and decide what you want to do. So call filter service to be made available to all wireless and wired customers with compatible phones in March of 19. Verizon announced today plans to roll out its spam and robocall detection and screening feature to all customers for free. The feature will be made available to all wireless and wired customers starting in March of 19. Let's see. The named call filter, previously caller name ID, is a premium service that Verizon rolls out for $3 more per month. So you have to pay $3 a month for it. But Call Filter works by alerting users of incoming robocalls by showing a label that reads spam or on a smartphone screen or on the wired phone's display when it's supported. The service also lets users report robocall numbers, which are then added to Verizon's database of 300 million phone numbers known to engage in text message spam and robocalls to be blocked network-wide. rival carriers, AT&T and T-Mobile, have been offering free robocall spam protection services already. So, yeah, guys, this is going to make it a little bit harder for us to reach you going forward when we use automated calls for things. So it's one of those things, like, I'm sure now that there's going to be, it's just like, for example, if you send an email and you attach it to more than 2 people, you are considered a spammer now, and your email address can be blocked by other service providers. We were sending invoices. So we would always copy ourselves on the invoice to make sure that it goes out to the customer so we could see it. Well, when we send like 20 invoices in a day, we got marked as spammers. And it took us forever to figure out why our email address was a spammer email. We don't send any mass marketing from that email. Why is it marked as spam? It's because we were emailing ourselves. And the copying to ourselves was enough to do it. So it's crazy. The world's getting pretty complicated. So somebody will come out with a service that we had to subscribe to, an email service, to make sure we didn't get caught in the spam filter. So they're going to make a spam filter, and then they'll make people who send real messages paid and not be caught in the filter. But such is life in the 21st century. 866-496-8772. Got to take the final break of the program, but then we're going to go through the rapid fire session. Oh, let's see. Dave, Dawn, Carolyn, Tom, and Dave again. Your calls all coming up really quickly next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all. So we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, I've been informed we have a 3-minute rapid fire session, and then we have 5 callers. So less than a minute per caller. Let's go. Dave, you're first up. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hi, I live 125 miles out of town. I want to know which service center will have the fastest turnaround on my machine to come in for your special.
Great question. Do you prefer Lincoln or Omaha?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Omaha's got the most bench spots. So I'm gonna say Omaha's gonna have the fastest turnaround time because they're gonna be able to get it up on the bench quick and get it down quick.
How many days are we looking at?
Well, are you gonna be in from out of town just like one day, or are you gonna be in town for more than one day?
Just one day.
Okay. For those,
so I'm looking at 2 trips.
Maybe not. Customers that are coming in from out of town, we try to make some options available to them. We have an ASAP service for $50 that you can put on that jumps you ahead of the queue, gets you directly up on the bench, gets you undivided attention start to finish so that you can get done as quickly as possible. A lot of times customers don't want to spend the $50 for that rush service, but in your case, it would probably save you that much in gas. So basically I'm saying we can get it done same day.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Diane, you're next up on the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hi, thanks, Dora, for taking my call.
Hey, no worries.
I have a Asus that I bought from you. I don't know when it was, like 5 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Can I put a solid state in that?
Absolutely. Yep. We can do it in any laptop, desktop, all in one, whether it's Mac, PC, doesn't matter. We can do it in all of them.
And also, so I'd have to buy the solid state and then it's installed for free?
That's correct. Yep. There's no additional costs or charges involved.
Okay, and at that time, can you put on all those wonderful virus protection things that you sell, Symantec?
Yeah, absolutely.
If
if you want us to put Endpoint and Secure Updater and everything on there, we can do it while we have it up on the bench. It doesn't take very much longer at all.
Okay. Well, it's basically never been used. It's just it's a brand new little computer, but I don't use it because I have an iPad.
Gotcha.
And so I bypass my laptop all the time because the iPad's so darn handy. Also, my daughter has a Mac Pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We can do it in a Mac Pro as well.
Pretty old.
Yeah, that's right. I just had somebody on Facebook ask me about a 2014 MacBook Pro, and we've been doing them all week. So thank you for the call, Diane. I appreciate it. Carolyn, you're next up. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hi, good morning from Round Rock, Texas.
Hey, Carolyn, how are you? Carolyn from Round Rock. Officially now in the call screen, when the Carolyn comes up, it's Carolyn from Round Rock, okay? What can we do for you?
I sent 2 laptops to you on the 7th, and I received them back Friday, the 18th. So it's great. It's really great. One of them was running, and Nikki was so helpful. One of them was running Windows 7. It's my daughter's that I replaced with the 2017 holiday special a year ago. And she was still running Windows 7 on that. And Parker was very helpful yesterday. I called him and said, how do I get the Windows 10 upgrade on this computer? And he sent me a link. So great service from him. And Jacob was very helpful a couple of times when I've talked to him in there about the upgrades.
Awesome.
But one of them only has 20 gigabytes of space left. Is that going to be enough?
It depends on what you're doing with it. The other thing, too, is if it was partitioned into 2 separate partitions, it's still partitioned. We can take a look at that over the Schrock desk and see if we can't shrink and increase those partitions for you to make a little more room. Thanks for the call, Carolyn. I appreciate it. Need to draw a winner of a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Today's winner is going to be Tom. Congratulations, Tom. You've got yourself $25 there. Tom and Dave, stay on the line. I'll take your calls coming up here in the break, and stay tuned for the Aftershock. We'll see you next Sunday.
From the Millard Roofing Studios, we've got you covered. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB, Omaha, an iHeart radio station.
About to enter its 2nd month. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News. This is